And the spirit of Ultimate Warrior will run forever!
Kyle here, and it is Saturday, and you know what that means. It's time for all the toy news, action figure news of the week that interested me, that hopefully interests you. And a little bit of a quiet week this week on the news front. There's some definitely stuff to talk about here, but not as much as some of the other weeks, and that's all right. Our wallets all need a little bit of a break every once in a while. There's no doubt about that. But of course, we got to start off the toy news of the week with a little housekeeping, a little Patreon talk. Of course, Patreon, your best way to support this very YouTube channel, but you also get both YouTube channels. Yes, both YouTube channels. You get early access to all the videos from those channels. Plus, you get bonus Q&As, pizza reviews, giveaways, you name it. And speaking of giveaways, we are in the month of November, and I figured we should do a Christmassy type giveaway for the month of November, so you can have this in your hand for, of course, December. And that's what we got here today, is we got the Gold Label McFarlane Toy Store exclusive red version Santa Batman. This will be the giveaway for the month of November, so check out the Patreon. Link in the description below. Check out how you can be a part of the giveaway over there. So we got the housekeeping out of the way. Let's dive in. Let's talk news. Let's talk wrestling news first. This week, finally announced 9/9 pre-order date on mattelcreations.com. The LWO box set is coming out at a very affordable price of $99.99. So basically $100 for 5 Elite figures shipped. I think that's a pretty good deal, and I love the idea of what Mattel Creations is going for with this. Very excited for the future of future box sets. Would love to see some other things done in box set form. And of course, Mattel Creations is great because you're bypassing the Amazons, the Walmarts, the Targets. You're going direct to consumer, which is always good for any company, be it NECA, Mattel, Kraft Foods, whatever company it may be. It's a good deal to go direct to market because they don't have to give a little extra money to those other third-party companies. They can take it all in-house, and also sometimes, like this case, it seems to be, pass the savings on to us. So I'm here for that. $99, $100 LWO box set. Hopefully shipping fairly soon. Maybe we'll have that before the year's up. We'll see what happens with that one. This week, a bunch of Ringside collectible pre-orders did go up for sale. Of course, Ringside Collectibles, good friends of the channel. Use discount code Kyle, save yourself 10%. But let's go through them real quick. Elite 107 did go up for pre-order. We got a brand new Alpha Academy Otis in that line. That should be a really good figure. Solo coming back with another Elite really quick. This will be corrected torso, all that kind of stuff. I always call the other one the NXT Solo. This will be, I guess, Bloodline Solo is what we'll get here. The Undertaker, he's back. I don't know if this is from like Raw 1000 or something like that. A post-retirement appearance Undertaker, I guess. The closest thing we'll get to a suited Undertaker, maybe? I don't know, but we do got that coming. Finn Balor, one that is really, really needed. We've got a lot of Judgment Day figures lately. Finn Balor, a big missing piece of that. We are getting that here. First time in the line, last time in the line, I don't know. This could be one that has some legs. We'll see what happens. But from NXT, we're getting Cora Jade, first time in the line in the Elite form. We got that in 107. And then Grayson Waller, once again, first time in the line, but not last time in the line, as he will be the Chase figure in 107. So some new talent, some old talent, some in-between talent, really rounding out Elite 107. I do expect Elite 107 to come probably in January. That's my guess. I got to think 106 will be here towards middle, late November, something like that, maybe early December. And that should be the last Elite set for the year, I would have to think. And it is about that time. I got to start getting these lists together. I got about 20 best of videos to do, where we go through every single line that I collect, I guess, on the channel, and we narrow it down, our top 10, top 5 favorites, and then, of course, at the very end, sometime in January, we'll take all the winners of every bracket, we'll put it in a grand finale one, and we'll find out what the best action figure was of 2023. Of course, voted by me, and I'll ask for your guys' list along the way as well, so look for those here in the weeks to come, So that's Elite 107, but then we turn our attention to Ultimate, almost said Elite again, Ultimate Series 20. A lot of hubbub out there. Oh, yes, the hubbub. It's going around. But Ultimate Series 20, Roman Reigns, we're not sure if there's going to be enough meat on the bone on that one. What's going to be different? I guess we'll find out. Looks like 2 title belts at least. Asuka, that's going to be the heavy hitter of the bunch. We'll see how well that does, but everybody loves face paint usually. So we got Asuka coming in, and then we got a re-release of The Undertaker. That is pretty unfortunate. We do know Bray Wyatt was supposed to be a part of this. They did cancel that, and instead we got an Undertaker straight-up re-release. That's not going to be for me. That's going to save a lot of us, I think, some money in our wallet. So that's not a bad thing at the end of the day. And then Basic Series 144, which I need to go back and order because I forgot this went up for pre-order until I was getting my notes together. I ordered the Grayson Waller and a few other ones. I needed to get that Chase one, of course, Grayson Waller, so I had to pay up for that one. I want that over with. I want that over with. But I need to get some of these basics. I need to get some of the ultimates, of course. So I got to go back and top picks, which we'll get to as well. But Series 144, we got first time in the line, possibly last time in the line. We got B-Fab, but you need that for Hit Row if you're going to try to connect and collect Hit Row. But we got B-Fab in there. Dominic Mysterio and Rey Mysterio in the line of Series 144. And then the first time in the Elite line, we got old Killer Cross, or I guess Karrion Cross, with hair. Oh, he's got hair now. But then the one everybody wants, of course, and it is also the Chase Edition. It is the Ultimate Warrior. Got to get me 2 of those Ultimate, or actually 4 of those Ultimate Warriors. All in on the Warrior. You know how I do that, so I will be picking up that one. But that's Series 144 Basics. Then, of course, we go over to Top Picks. So Elite Top Picks Wave 2 2024. We got Sheamus. That'll be interesting. Is it going to be a new Sheamus? Is it going to be a rehash Sheamus? We'll have to find out. Once again, Cody Rhodes, the master of the top picks as of late. We got Cody going on in that. And then Logan Paul. A lot of people will be excited about an Elite Logan Paul. Not everybody got the Ultimate. Not everybody wanted his basic Showdown. So this will be an Elite Logan Paul. Got to think that'll sell okay. So they got Logan Paul coming there. Then we do got a Basics Top Picks, which I don't really do anything with. But you got Rock, Undertaker, Seth Rollins. 3 real heavy hitters in that one. I think a lot of people will be after maybe some of those, especially if you're a little kid out there usually. Then we got Championship Showdown, which looks to be the last Ronda Rousey figure for a while, as we got Liv Morgan and Ronda Rousey in that. We got British Bulldog Shawn Michaels. You know I love a throwback pack, so we'll have to see how that one ends up coming out. And then Bobby Lashley, Brock Lesnar, 2 big bruisers there from about their feud a little over a year ago, I guess, or about a year ago at this point. So we got that in Championship Showdown Series 16. And then also up for pre-order, if you're into this kind of thing, is we got Bendems, some brand new WWE Bendems. Very strange looking Bendems to me, and I've been around a lot of different Bendems, going back to the LJN Bendems. That was a pass for me. Of course, the Just Toys Bendems that a lot of people love, pass, really not for me. I had some over the years just collecting, you know, you come across stuff, but not for me. And then, of course, the Major Bendies, which I applaud Major Bendies for what they do out there, but I'm not a big Major Bendies guy. I'm just not a Bendies guy at the end of the day. But now we got these new ones coming out, which, to me, if I had to choose a Bendy line, it's going to be Major Bendies, but I'm just not in on this one. But I guess if they come out with an Ultimate Warrior, maybe I'll pick it up. We'll see what happens with that. But if you're into Bendems, sounds like there's a lot of varieties. There's box sets, there's 2-packs, 3-packs, 4-packs, all kinds of stuff. Early word, they're even hitting Canadian Toys R Us stores right now. So if you're into Bendems, I guess it's what a time to be alive really right now at the end of the day, as there's a lot going on as far as Bendems go. And then shipping from Ringside Collectibles right now, as of filming this here, Hook, the Ringside exclusive Hook Deluxe pack there. He's got the bag of chips. He's ready to go. But Hook is shipping right now, so if you ordered Hook, should be here soon. Should be arriving to my house Monday, Tuesday next week, unfortunately, or fortunately, I don't know. I'll be in Chicago, Illinois. My home away from home lately. I'm going back to Chicago. I got 3 trips to Chicago in a 4-week span. How does that work? But I'll be there for meetings Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday next week, I think it is. So I don't know. I got to check my calendar is what I got to do. But I'll be traveling for meetings. I got a busy week next week. Every week's busy. There's no rest for the wicked, like young Ozzy Osbourne and Randy Castillo, as we talk about, and Zach Wilde, of course. We talk about it all the time here on the channel. But a very busy week there. But if you need your Hook, you'll just have to wait for my review. It might be later next week. We'll see what happens. But yeah, that's the way it goes. That's the way it goes. But speaking also of Bendies, I talked about Major Bendies. I brought them up just a little bit ago. Major Bendies with a hot announcement straight off the documentary on Peacock. Of course, Vlad, super WWE fan, WWF fan Vlad. They are making a Major Bendies version of him. Strike while the iron's hot. You know, there's a lot of talk about the documentary and stuff. Now's the time, I guess, if you're going to be into that kind of thing. So he is coming to the Major Bendies line, and that's not it. Vlad, man, it's an all-star week for Vlad. He gets 2 action figures and a documentary. What a time to be alive for Vlad, the wrestling fan. And it's so weird. I've said this before. I've watched wrestling since I was a little kid in the 80s. I've seen him, like when you show a picture, I'm like, oh yeah, I've seen that guy, but I never ever noticed this guy in the crowd. I am so weird. I'm so oblivious. It goes back to me being very oblivious about things like that. I've seen him, like you see pictures, oh yeah, I've seen that face before, but I never realized he was always at every single show in like the Northeast and stuff like that and other things. I just never assumed that. So very, very strange, way over my head apparently. I don't know how I missed that, but I've always seen the guy, I just never put two and two together. Unlike Faith No More guy, ECW hat guy, or Hawaiian shirt guy, those guys I always recognize. That was my people. Those were my people back in the day. But Vlad, for whatever reason, just didn't connect with me for some reason. I don't know. Very strange, very strange. But he is getting a figure collections retro style figure in the jumper position. I don't know. Is he jumping around, I guess? He's like a young House of Pain, I guess is what he is doing. But we're getting him in a jumper form. Not sure if that's going to be for me. That's pretty off the beaten path for me at the end of the day. I don't know if I can pick up a Vlad retro figure. But it is coming for anybody that wants that. But Figure Collections wasn't done this week. They came in with a lot of news. We do know the Headbangers coming in December, and it looks like there's going to be two versions of the Headbangers. The one we already knew about, but then they're making 250 of a Chase variant, we'll call it on this one. Pick your poison, pick what Headbanger you want at the end of the day. Really tough for me. It's like, I like the Headbangers. I'm getting one of these, but do I need two Headbangers? Do I need that? Do I need all that extra spend there? I don't think I do. So I think I'm just going to stick to one Headbangers. That's the way I'm going to roll with that. They did mention Effie should be coming in December as well. Looks like Mike Chioda. They're going to show some pictures for the Mike Chioda retro in the future. And so we'll see on that one. And then this week they did announce a pre-order up for Father James Mitchell. Man, that guy has a lot of fun. I'd like to meet James Mitchell one of these days. Sounded like he had a heck of a time at the old NWA show last week. If you saw any of that kind of stuff, who knows what he's up to there. But Jim Mitchell coming up for pre-order right now. Go pick him up. Of course, Bone Cruncher style. You need manager Jim Mitchell. You want him with your ECW. You want him in TNA. You want him in your NWA collection. Whatever you want him, you can get a Father James Mitchell figure. Very good. I will probably buy the one in the red suit because there is two variant Chase editions that you can order as well. Of course, much more limited. More deep cut suits, I guess we would say, with him on that. Not really going to be for me. I'm just picking up one Father James Mitchell is the way I'm going to do it. But I applaud them for doing what they're doing. And if you guys remember last week in the Toy News of the Week, I said, you know, the Asylum Toy Store and Figure Collection, they're a little bit on the clock right here with Ultimo Drag and Sonny Ono. There's Asylum Superstar Series 1. What's going on? There's been no updates. And then I don't know if it was related. I don't think it probably was, but they sent out a big update this week, of course, Figure Collections, letting us know everything that's going on with all their kind of stuff. So I love that transparency. Once these companies, any company, not just Figure Collections, but they take our money, we should get some updates along the way every once in a while. Super 7 does a really good job of that. We don't always like the news that our stuff's delayed, but they send those updates out on Fridays usually. Same thing with NECA. We get updates. Here's how we're coming along in the process. I think all these companies should do that on a regular basis because, hey, they got our money for a long time. At least they could tell us how it's going along the way. And that's what Figure Collections did this week. So shout out to them, sending that out to everybody there. Some more toy news this week. FTC, Figure Toy Company. We've seen those figures. We've unboxed them on the channel. Not a big fan of those. A lot of staining, as we know with them, unfortunately. A lot of people dogging them for being Jax figures with deluxe aggression arms and things. Not really eye-appealing figures in 2023. Well, they did finally announce... I don't know about finally, but they did announce this week that they are moving to elite style figures going forward, and the Midnight Express set will be the last of the old style. So definitely my ears perked up if we got elite style figures, but to me, my guess is, remember the Referee Figure Toy Company came out with? I unboxed it here on the channel. Check out that review. But that Referee figure, I wonder if it's going to be similar to that. So is that going to be the kind of quality we're looking at with the new ones? Makes sense if it would be. I guess we'll have to stay tuned, see what happens, see how it shakes out. But there's going to be a change in style. Have to imagine with all the collectors going to the new style, elite style bodies, let's call it, this should help FTC's sales in the long run, I would have to imagine. We'll see what happens. We'll see once they start showing some glamour shots, things like that. Much more to come, but I thought that was pretty interesting news. Piqued my interest, there's no doubt about it. Only one retro news really this week. KWK coming in, of course, the month of November. Yoshi Tatsu is the pre-order this month. I know he's not technically retro, but the figure I think looks pretty good. There is a lot of versions of this Yoshi Tatsu, and that kind of helps with, you know, items. You have to make X amount to fulfill an order. You got to have 500 units, 1,000 units, whatever it may be at the factory. Well, these variants, things like that, do help some of that because Yoshitatsu, he's not going to be Hulk Hogan. And I think KWK, they understand that at the end of the day. He's not going to sell Hulk Hogan levels. So there's a lot of different variants, rare editions, things like that, retailer exclusive versions. So if you're into Yoshitatsu, you got many to choose from or get them all. But you got the month of November to make your decision. It's a month-long pre-order like we've seen with all the other ones. So if you're into that, check that out from KWK. Now we get to some other news this week. Not a whole lot going on. The Marvel Legends team, they just had a couple of things this week that we didn't talk about last week. We did see Tombstone and Hallows' Eve. They showed those at the London Comic Con, I guess it was. But they added that to what we saw in the Hasbro Pulse stream last week. So now we know that next Spider Retro series coming. We got those two joining the party of some of the other figures from that set. I'm here for a new Tombstone. I think it looks pretty good. I'm definitely picking both these up. That Hallows' Eve, a character I'm not super familiar with. Apparently, she's very sweet on one Ben Reilly. And guess what? So am I. I love Ben Reilly. I love that Spider-Man clone saga back in the day. So her and I get along really good. So I'll be picking those up this week. Or soon. I guess pre-order right now. They're not out this week. But I'm sure they're out probably January, February, something like that. We'll see what happens. But then the Marvel Legends team did announce on Twitter, they did say, hey, it's going to be a pretty quiet November, maybe only one kind of announcement, pretty quiet this month. So that's good. All of our wallets need a break as we're heading into the Christmas season. Now that we're in November, we got to start planning. I know my kids are very expensive, so I'm happy that weekly purchases tomorrow, not as big as normal, and I'm thankful for that because I got a lot of bills to pay. Just like everybody else. So we'll see on that tomorrow, so make sure you check that out tomorrow, once again, or now on Patreon probably. But then, of course, last week at the London Comic Con, we knew this was coming. We knew there was going to be an October 31st pre-order. Well, finally officially announced, kind of shown off, is 2 deluxe G.I. Joe figures. We got Metalhead, an all-timer. One of the coolest figures ever, one of the coolest ideas for a character ever, but one of the worst characters when it came to the cartoon. Of course, part of the Deke series was Metalhead. He was just a goofball, but man, what a cool figure. And this one does not disappoint. I am here for this Metalhead. Really excited for that figure. Then the other one they announced, Mutt and Junkyard, an all-time classic. You could very easily say, okay, what's the most iconic animal from G.I. Joe? And I'm actually kicking around doing a top 5 iconic G.I. Joe animals for Kyle Peterson 2.0, so look for that sooner than later. But Mutt and Junkyard, 2 all-timers. Give me Law & Order next. Keep these animal ones coming. I want Law & Order next. So we'll see what happens with these. But Mutt and Junkyard, Metalhead, up for pre-order right now. Hit up old Big Bad Toy Store, link in the description below. Head over to Entertainment Earth, use discount code Kyle, save yourself 10% on in-stock items, 79 or over, does ship free, wherever you want to pre-order them from. But get yourself some Joes. Joe Crazy going on. And once again, we'll talk about that a little bit more in weekly purchases tomorrow. And then we got Big Bad Toy Store, another McFarlane Toys exclusive from Big Bad Toy Store. It looks like they got like a black and white Aquaman. Kind of cool, kind of artsy though, and I don't think I'm going to be picking this one up. But I thought that was cool enough to mention. You can only get it on Big Bad Toy Store, so head over there. Link in the description once again down below. Whoa, whoa, whoa! Stop the clock. Back with a couple of late-breaking things that happened while I was filming the toy news of the week. But we got a few things. One thing I did forget to talk about. Of course, Super 7 right in the middle of a crowdfunder right now for the Cobra Mothership, as we do know for the reaction-style figures. We got a little bit of a ways to go, and as Jerry Reed always says, we've got a long way to go and a short time to get there. And exactly, like Jerry Reed always says, he's exactly right. But 1427 is we're at the backers, goal 4,000. I don't believe it's moved in the last day, actually. We have till December 11th to pre-order this, or back this, I guess we'll call it, December 11th. So we're coming up very, very quick on this. We're going to have to see how it goes. I don't know. I don't know if it's going to make it or not. We do know with Super 7, a lot of people do wait till the very last minute because, hey, nobody wants you sitting on their money, and a lot of people will buy at the last. We see it with all the other crowdfunders as well. Giant Man, they don't even sit on your money, but a lot of things came in at the last minute, as we know. But 1427, we got a ways to go, so we'll see if it can hit the 4,000 tier. I guess we'll stay tuned to it here in the toy news of the week. Also, old Hassel Toy dropping something, and I asked about this a while back. Is this ever going to come out? Well, it looks like it is coming out. Diana Hart Smith figure, and it does look a little bit better than, I guess, the cartoon renditions we saw back in the day. I guess we'll find out more about this in the future. So we got another retro style figure coming. be prepared for that. And then I talked about the Marvel Legends team not having a lot to say in this video. It looks like Lilandra is finally coming. We got one of her head a while back, a long time ago. Was it with Professor X, maybe? Something like that. A lot of us made a custom of her in our collection, myself included. But we are getting an official version of her sometime in 2024. So a little break-in the toy news. That's it. That is the toy news this week. Looking at my notes, pretty light week as far as toy news. Not a bad deal, though. Not a bad deal if you ask me. But we got to do, of course, the album of the week. And I guess it'll be the song of the week this week. Like everybody else, Beatlemania sweeping the nation. The Beatles, one of my favorite bands of all time. I've talked about it before. Huge Beatles guy as a kid, teenager, high school, college. I still like the Beatles. It's one of those things where I've listened to it so many times, so I don't really need to hear it again. I know we all get that way with some bands. But I love the solo career Beatles stuff. George Harrison, my all-time favorite. Absolutely love George Harrison's solo work, all of his solo work. Paul McCartney, Ringo's solo work, everybody. I've heard it all. I've heard it all for many years. But now we get the third song finally released. They started working on it during the anthology time frame. It is a song called Now and Then. If you haven't heard it, what are you doing? Check it out. I will say it didn't set my world on fire, but guess what? It's a demo they worked on. It's just more special for what it means than the song actually is. And it's actually a shower, not a grower, maybe. I don't know. Maybe it's a grower, not a shower. I don't know. It's one or the other, depending who you are. But it's an okay song. I've listened to it quite a few times. It's really grown on me a little bit, but it does remind me of a lot of, if you're familiar with a lot of the bootlegs and stuff of the Beatles over the years and the solo careers, it really reminds me of the Dakota tapes from John Lennon, and I think that's where it came from. They cleaned it up, did AI to clean it up and separate tracks and stuff with some new technology, which is pretty cool at the end of the day. Then old Ringo and Paul added some new stuff to it. Just a very cool idea. A lot of people are upset about it. I don't know why you'd be upset about it. It is what it is. They can do whatever they want, but I just think it's a cool, like, kind of final ribbon, final bow on the Beatles in a lot of ways. Yellow Submarine cartoon finally went out to the masses. The rooftop concert, the Get Back film, long, wanted, bootlegged forever, finally went to the masses. Pretty much everything the Beatles ever did now has been officially released, outside of some deep cut demos, maybe a couple of scratchy soundboard recordings from some live shows, things like that. But a lot of stuff has come out, and this is kind of the final bow, which I think is kind of cool. Kind of just ends it all there. Very cool song for what it is. And I think they did a really good job in promoting this too, because they, leaked it out to People Magazine, all this stuff, it was coming. So people were chirping for a long time. Then on Wednesday this week, they went to YouTube and they had a little like 12, 13 minute documentary about it. I thought that was really cool, getting everybody excited about it. Then on Thursday this week, they released it to the Spotifys, the Amazon, the Apple Musics, things like that, YouTube, whatever. The song got released. And then on Friday, they put out the video for the song. So really keeping it top of house, top of mind, getting a lot of looks, getting a lot of people looking at it. And of course, it does come out on a vinyl, CD, single, all the kind of usual stuff, streaming stuff. But then they also have the red and blue greatest hits albums being re-released with that song added to it, kind of as a bow. So it's all part of a marketing campaign, which I can appreciate that at the end of the day as well. But is it the greatest Beatles song of all time? No. Is it cool to listen to? Is it cool kind of bow on a career? Yes. And that's the album song of the week. So there it is. That's the toy news of the week for me. Not a lot of stuff, like I did say, but let me know what you thought of this week. Anything really excite you? Anything you're picking up out of this list of stuff? Let me know in your thoughts in the comments down below. Of course, you made it this far. Don't forget to like the video. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Turn on the old notification bell. Subscribe to both channels, as I always do say. And don't forget about the Patreon for this month's giveaway. Early access to videos, you name it. All going on over there, the old Patreon channel. And of course, Patreon, the best way to support the channel. You can also support the channel at ProWrestlingTees.com. Search Kyle Peterson. And don't forget social media, SirPaul64 on the X, _Kyle_Peterson on Instagram and on Threads. And you know what I'm doing? I'm rocking and rolling, strutting and strolling my way to Chicago. I'll see you guys all real soon.